And I'd also like to give my warm welcome to everybody here today as we join together in the prayer for humanity. Let us remember before God the great need of all humankind, that we may pray to God, we may quiet the fretful mind of every day. Let us open our hearts to the Father, Mother God, and to Christ the Son, the Holy Trinity of wisdom, love, and power. In the holy name of Christ, by the Christ light in the hearts of all people, we call upon the great angels of Christ. We feel their presence and their power. We attune ourselves to the prayers of all men and women of good will, being thus prepared and ready before God, with all the will of our minds and all the love of our deepest hearts, we send forth the light. We send it forth as a great star of light, a blazing star, withstanding, overcoming all evil, triumphant over darkness and death, a star of the Christ light. By all the power of Christ within our hearts, we send forth the light. We hold in the heart of the Christ star the leaders and peoples of all the countries of the world, the soul of all the peoples and countries in the world. May the light of the Christ star awaken the wisdom of the ancient Sun Brothers in the hearts and minds of all of humanity, to bring peace and healing to all life. And now let us hold within this great healing star anyone known to us personally who is in need of help or healing. Silently, we name them now. And see them perfect in the heart of the star. Amen.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
I see I'm the only one that's got some red on.
Some red.
Yeah, you do a little bit on your sweater. Well, I'm getting out on my Christmas clothes, so just this is my favorite time of year, but I realize that for some people it is a sad time of year, but we'll be sending them the light, and hopefully it will encourage them to have the Christmas spirit. Well, we start with the healing circle. And I must admit, I have not watched the news at all lately, so if there's any special area of the world that needs extra healing, please send it to them during this time. But let us quiet our minds and let this be part of our healing time. Let us open our hearts to the Christ power, wisdom, and love, as together we call upon the angels of healing to draw close. We come into the soft radiance of this love as we focus and hold the healing light of the Christ star over all the world. This time of year, even though many of the world do not celebrate the Christmas spirit, may their hearts still be full of joy and happiness. And this being the first Sunday of Advent, Denise says that the focus is on hope and faith. I prefer knowing, but if we have to start with hope and faith, then that is a start of us celebrating this wonderful period of the year as we celebrate the birth of the Christ child. With hearts full of love and gratitude, we give our very grateful thanks. Amen. The reading that Nancy has chosen today, can everyone hear me? Is entitled The Spirit of Christmas Present, and it was given as a Sunday address in December of 1936 in London. Now, we would help you all to a deeper understanding of the spirit of Christmas. Since the birth of Jesus of Nazareth, humanity has traveled many years along a road so beset with stones and difficulties that some wonder if the Christian revelation has really produced much effect. Many at the present time are unable to reconcile reason with the teaching of the redemption. Many feel that humanity must save itself, and therefore the advent of the child at Christmas has little more value than a fairy story. You are grown men and women, thinking men and women, but all at some time come up against human problems and troubles, less or great. Unless you possess either great faith or a knowledge which reveals a divine purpose in life, you are thrown off balance. But at Christmas time, you desire to put aside unhappy thoughts and try each in his own way to catch the spirit of Christmas. Who amongst you does not respond to that spirit of goodwill and kindliness to all? At least you endeavor to make some of your friends happy at this time, for merriment and happiness. Everything is forgotten at Christmas. You send greetings to everyone you can think of. Your heart is overflowing with goodwill. The spirit of Christmas present fills your whole being. But when the Christmas spirit is over, you forget. Is it too sweeping to say forget? You put the season away in a nice little parcel, in some cupboard together with certain of your Christmas presents. Christmas is over, and those who have worked very hard say, I am so glad that Christmas is over. Can we probe beneath the surface of things of Christmas and get to the foundation? The unorthodox reject the teaching of the orthodox. Thoughts. Within your heart comes a remarkable change. Sorry. The unorthodox reject the teaching of the Orthodox Church. Reject the whole idea of a Christ born as a little child at a certain season of the year. And yet, despite rejection and scorn, Christmas still lives, still plays a great part in your life, does not seem to die away, nor become less potent as the years pass. There exists in the universe a power an actual and scientific power which all may contact. Call it by any name you like. Say the Spirit of Christ Mass, or the Spirit of Christ, a universal power which is free to all, the property of no particular race or class. It is not exclusive to any church or religion, and can be possessed by no one group more than another. It is within the reach of all, within the reach of you. The Master Jesus, born nearly 2,000 years ago, was a human instrument to whom this universal power manifested. The power we call the universal light of Christ. It is the foundation of all human growth and development. You may, if you wish, find a certain contact with the Christ or the Christmas spirit, which is not constrained to Christmas time alone, but all the year as well. You may, if you will work for it, be put into direct contact with this power, which will then fill your life with joy, goodwill, peace, and health. Its lack means that you lose your grip on life and cannot see things clearly, cannot recognize justice or wisdom in any of life's experiences, nor accept any justification for suffering. Thus the average man is completely at sea in a state of confusion. If an ordeal awaits him, he literally goes to pieces with fear. Man is consumed by fear because there is no health, no harmony in him, and he has no contact with the spirit of Christmas present. Remember, we refer to the universal, to the cosmic Christ, which manifested through one man, but which may and will manifest through every man. Be still within. Within yourself, think of the Christmas spirit. At Christmas, you feel kindly, full of love and goodwill. Never mind what so-and-so has done, you think. It is Christmas time. With these thoughts within your heart comes a remarkable change. Harmony, peace, beauty. While you feel thus, you open the door to the direct inflow of this universal spirit of healing. Love brings the power to heal. But remember, there must be also the will in you to do the will of God. There live on earth at present great souls whom you call adepts and masters, who have fully realized this universal Christ spirit, and so have overcome all the limitations of the physical body. While they live on earth in contact with humanity and its needs, they respond to those who have understanding and faith, and call upon this universal Christ for help. These brethren of ours so raise their vibrations that they can dwell both on earth and in heaven. They know no separation between the physical and the etheric life. They live both with you and with those who have passed into the great beyond. They so attune their vibrations to the heavenly life that by raising their consciousness, they are there in the heavenly worlds. In this condition of life, at this period of the year, when so many souls celebrate the Christ Mass, these elder brethren raise their consciousness, so that they participate in the actual communion of Christ in heaven itself. May we tell you of something we ourselves have witnessed, of a great multitude of shining souls gathered in the spirit world. About them is a harmony which sounded like the most beautiful music that you on earth can conceive. More beautiful indeed, the harmony vibrating through the heavens, so that even the very clothing of these people thrilled with the harmony. They were waiting expectantly for the great visitor, and gradually a light appeared in the center of this vast multitude, like a sun, a miniature sun, but it intensified in glory and brightness until it seemed to extend right through the multitude until all were enveloped in this light. In the center became distinguishable a human form, and as the mists cleared, we could see the face of a man. The eyes were deep, unfathomable, but full of compassion and love, which poured forth and radiated to the furthermost edge of this gathering. The form was perfect, and those gathered there were baptized by an infinite love. Each soul was strengthened and revivified by this communion, and yet no word was spoken, for none could convey his love. Those blessed by the ceremony knew something of the power of the Christ Spirit. This same living force is for you, my beloved brethren on earth. Do not allow your lower self to crush out the beauty and the power of the Christ Spirit. It is better to be simple as a child than to tread underfoot the flowers of the Christ life. Your country has passed through a difficult period, and you do not know what to make of the happenings. May we suggest to you that a law has been at work. Not the law of your land, no, but a spiritual power behind this physical demonstration. You are told by many that men possess free will, but not to the extent he thinks. For it is an inward urge that directs your actions. Many declare, I have made my choice, but actually have made none. The God within directs, and man's free will will govern only his attitude of mind, his reactions or resulting growth in character. If once fully understood this law, which says that 2 and 2 always make 4, it will help you to eradicate intolerance from yourself, to realize that all men, all humanity are subject to the same law as yourself, to the law of karma, or cause and effect. You have not lived a brief span of 30, 40, 50 years, or even 70, but for thousands of years. Once you have entered into that higher consciousness of Christ, you will look back down the ages and see the law working out in exactitude during your whole existence. And so with this we close. But may the spirit of Christmas present so impress your mind with the eternal truth of the Christ life and the power which may be yours, So attune you to this universal force, that the coming years will bring a certainty and the daily realization of the eternal Christ Mass Spirit. Be noble, and the nobility which in other men are dormant, but never dead, shall rise in majesty to meet thy own. Amen.
I'd like to also give my thanks and appreciation to those who have decorated this temple so beautifully, and for the loan of the nutcrackers, which always add such a beautiful touch to it, for the tree and everything, but mostly for everybody that's here. Thank you. Because the more you know about the teachings of White Eagle, the whole essence is love. And what good is love if you can't share it? So having a group to share that love and send it out is a gift in itself. And I think a lot of the message, the reason that reading really resonated with me, I mean, it was written in 1939, but it could have been written yesterday. There is so much there that is exactly true now. I mean, a lot of us do leave Christmas at Christmas time. And when the country is going through a lot, the whole world is going through a lot. We're coming to that time in the shift of the ages between the Piscean age, which was brought in with the birth of Christ, to the Aquarian age, the age of brotherhood. And I always have to stop and remind myself, okay, Aquarius, and you'll forgive me, I won't do too much astrology, but it's an air sign. It's all about mental things. It's about new ideas, new concepts, new ways of doing things, and of finding our own unique way of expression. And I think the reading is kind of telling us, you know, that phrase about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Don't throw out the Christ child with the bathwater. Because the symbol of Aquarius is the water bearer, carrying the water, the spirit, the soul. If you only have mental thoughts, and I'm very mental, I'm also very emotional, it's kind of an odd mix, but when I have done talks here, sometimes they go really well, and I can tell you why. I'm speaking from my heart mind. When it only comes from my head, you're falling asleep. You're bored. It's like, get on with it, Nancy. What's the point here? So it becomes a challenge of trying to meld the two, get out of the way, kind of like with healing. As a healer, your task is to tune into your heart, tune up to God, and get out of the way. Because it's not about us. We are channels. We are channels for bringing through the light and healing and help to those in need that have come. And in a lot of ways, this new age of humanity, of brotherhood, we have to keep that compassion alive, that love for our fellow beings, for fellow life. Or what's the point? Then if we didn't have a point of compassion, we could just let the artificial intelligence take over and be done with it. But we came here for a reason. I mean, I think all of us that are here came because part of us said there's something more. I mean, there has to be a reason to be born and go through all the trials and tribulations that everyone does in some form or another. There has to be a reason that makes sense. Now, we may not all find the same reason, and that's fine. We're different. We're all learning different things and coming to find different ways of balancing how we deal with the world and what our place in it is. But I truly believe, without a doubt, there is a creator of all of us. There is a grand design. And if you accept that, and that's an if, I'm not telling you to think anything, then each and every one of us has something that we uniquely are. Yes, we're here to learn, but we're uniquely here to offer our world. And it's highly variable. A long time ago when I was working, I went through a leadership training program. And one of the bits and pieces of it was you looked at the different styles of how people act and react that are related to leadership. And the point was that as a leader, you had to make everyone fit into the whole and to be valued and of use. And while I was playing mentally with this idea, it's like, yeah, but we're missing something here. It's not just the leaders that need to do that. We do too. As the reading said, when we recognize that others have the same laws and rules that we follow, then it gives us a humility and a humanity. We have come here, again, my belief, our belief, we have come here through many lives. We're all at different stages of learning and where we are, but we all came here with something to do. We may or may not know exactly what it is. But again, it's like with the healing and with the message, help is just a thought away, a thought and an action. There was that two-part with that, the fine print gets you every time. But you turn into your heart, you reach up to God, and you will start to get your direction. Right now, there's so much going on, and I so identified with Carol's quite accurate comment of not watching the news. Now, there are some people who will say that's being in the ostrich position, to which I can at times totally identify. However, our teachings are all about raising it up. Raise up the vibration. Go into the light. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But again, some of the training that I've had in the past, not necessarily that I did very well at it, mind you, but training I've had, one of them was what to do in a case where you run into someone who is inciting violence, inciting a reaction. And the first thing you have to do is be still and calm. Gee, where have we heard that one before? Be still and calm, because if you get into that mode of emotions, there's a reason they call it inciting to riot. They're getting your emotions in play, and you no longer can think. You're just swept along with the whole of the emotion. So if you come up against these people, you have to be calm. And as Jeff and several others have said, the key thing is what you're about to do or say kind? And is it helpful? A lot of people who are wired up and over the edge don't feel listened to. They don't feel valued. So being calm doesn't feed into their anxiety. Being respectful is trying to get them to talk, hopefully, eventually, in a normal tone of voice, telling you what their issue really is, letting them be heard. You don't have to agree with them. You have to honor them enough to listen, to de-escalate the emotions. And if you don't have that gift, we send them the light. We send everyone the light. We enfold them in it. It's their choice to choose it or not. But it is a start to diffusing the whole situation. So again, we can follow day-to-day stuff, and if that's your interest, that's fine. But sometimes what you really need to do is what we do here, send out the light, lift the whole thing up. If you can separate the two and not get sucked into it emotionally, great. I'm not one of those people. I have to be very careful going out, and everywhere I am, I'm trying to make sure that I'm constantly pulling in the light and sending it out. And not trying to just seal it off, because that cuts me off too. But it's building in that awareness, that thought, that always Is that going to be kind? Is that going to be helpful? Is responding in kind going to do anything positive? I responded to a Facebook post, and I made a comment which unfortunately is quite common. It was totally misunderstood, and they came back, figuratively with teeth and claws, and it's like, no, what I meant to say, or rather I didn't start that, I just said in plain English what I was going for and saying this is what I really meant, and left it. And it was, we won't go into what it was, it's irrelevant. But it's finding a way that we can keep true to our spirit, to who we are. And sometimes you have to act, and there's no question about that. If someone is in danger, or you can do something that will help in a positive way, without taking away the free choice of the other, and that's always a catch, then you do it. And sometimes you just do it because it's your automatic reaction to try and save someone. Everything in this world and life is about finding our balance. What is right one time may not be right the next. It's just life. Sometimes the issue is we don't act. Sometimes we acted, but we didn't think first. And that can be silly little things like playing on a cell phone and hitting the button which you think is right and realizing your finger didn't quite hit where you thought it was going to. But instead, I've tried to get to the point of laughing at myself because the universe is constantly telling me, slow down, Nancy, slow down, get your thoughts quiet. It will tell us repeatedly in different ways, little tiny, perhaps annoying ways, of what the message we are to hear is. We just have to be open to listening for it. Listening in the heart, of course, is the best, stopping to do that. But if we don't, our guides, our angels around us, will be helping us. They will be there, giving us little hints, if we will just open our eyes. And sometimes also they're there with big miracles. Beautiful things that happen that protect us from whatever, that manage to bring us such a wonderful sense of peace and to save the situation. And that's what keeping the Christ, the Christmas, is about, isn't it? It's about miracles. It's about love. It's about sharing. It's about caring for people, for humanity. In some ways, it's being, in one sense, without boundaries. Highest unconditional love is love without boundaries. True brotherhood is caring about all without any boundaries. Balance is that as an individual, we still need our boundaries, but we're coming to the place where we need to negotiate having both abilities. And in a way, meditation is kind of one of those boundaryless points where we go up, and if you will join me, we will go up into our meditation communion. So as we think of the beautiful words of White Eagle, and of that beautiful presence that was described, we realize that in this temple, around us, there is a glow. A golden glow is filling the entire temple. And we feel ourselves being lifted up through the beautiful stained glass, through the star at the top, into the heart of the spiritual sun, into the edges of the gathering described. The adepts and beautiful ones there welcome us, all of us are welcomed. And we are filled with a sense of awe, the hush of expectancy. As the light starts to pour in gently and continuously, the presence forms at the center. Open yourself as it reaches you, that sense of the divine love. Accept. Slowly, the light lessens, but we still feel that incredible gift of love and peace, which fills every cell of our being. As we breathe in the light, and it flows out from us, we become aware that we are in a body of light. That the teachings are real. And gently with the others, we make our way out of the temple, where the sky is a beautiful blue, much like it was outside here this morning. The temperature is perfect. And it feels like Christmas Day, even though it isn't quite there, yet still that love, that joy abounds. And we share it with those around us without saying or doing a thing, yet the love flows between us. And as we walk towards the gate, the flow between becomes a little bit less, and we become, again, ourselves still enveloped in this beautiful light. But now with an outer cloak of light around us. As we acknowledge the guardians of the gate, and together we go back through the gate, down through the heart of the sun, linked arm in arm together, coming back through the stained glass roof of the temple, back into the temple, and separating and coming back into our individual bodies. Breathe in deeply. Wiggle your toes into fingers. And because we have gone so far, and everyone may not know a way to seal and ground yourself, let me walk you through it. If you have one, please go ahead, tune me out, and do your own. But we use a cross of light encircled by light, starting at the crown chakra above the head, a cross of light encircled by light. At the brow chakra, with a cross of golden light encircled by light. Gently, easily flowing, no stress, no fuss. And again at the throat chakra, a cross of light encircled by light. Over the heart chakra, the cross of golden light encircled by light. Down at the solar plexus, roughly over the belly button, a cross of light encircled by light. The sacral area, down over the lower belly, a cross of light, encircled by light, and then at the base of the spine, a cross of light, encircled by light. See the gold light coming up your back and over your spleen chakra, kind of the middle of the back, under the ribs, a cross of light, encircled by light, and then come up to the base of the brain, at the bottom of your head in the back, a cross of light, encircled by light. And then we like to breathe in the light. We will do it 7 times, where you breathe in and you see the light going up your left side above your head, and out it goes down your right side to the bottom and is cleansed. And you do this 7 times. Do it in your own time, because we all breathe at different rates and depths. And the last one is in a single breath. Let me describe it. It will come from under your left foot, going around your body in a clockwise spiral, so that on the count of 7, the light is above your head, and it comes down through the center of your body down into the earth to make sure you are completely grounded. Do that in your own timing in one breath. Sometimes I do it twice just to make sure I'm in contact with Mother Earth,